Hey guys, what's up everybody? Welcome and welcome back again to another video from the Apex Predator Billiards Club. My name is Apex Elenio and I'll be taking you through another video tutorial as it relates to kick shots. This is part 2 of a series of videos that I will be putting together for you in order to improve the kicking part of your game. Now in my last tutorial video, I've already explained to you what are the diamond numberings for the side rail and for the inner rail and how we can predict the trajectory path of the cue ball in order to make contact with a ball in the pocket. Now as you can see here, I have a couple of balls laid out on the side rail here and on the inner rail here. They are not structured or they are not set up according to diamonds, they're just placed at relative positions to the rail. Now what we're going to be aiming to do here is just to try to find the actual trajectory path that we can use to make contact with a ball that I'll be continuously placing in the pocket. So if you're ready for this video, of course, before you go any further, be sure to subscribe to the channel below, of course, like the video and turn on your post notification bell for future video tutorial updates. Let's begin this course. Alright guys, so let's just review what we did on the last video. Now earlier we had mentioned that the diamond numberings here, of course, kicking at a ball that is in the pocket, we call that pocket 0. And every diamond from there on off is going to be numbered via increments of 10. So this is 10, 20, 30, the side pocket is 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Now as we bend around this corner, then this diamond becomes 100, 120, 140. Now of course there are exceptions to the rule coming off certain angles. So for example, the 90-45 track line tends to go a little bit long, so you may have to adjust a little bit. And of course the 70-35 track line comes off a little bit long, so you may have to do a little bit of adjustment. But for the most part, these kick shots work with the same amount of spin, which is no spin, just a little bit above center. Now let's get into it here. Let's just start with a random ball here. Let's just pick the number 8 and we want to make contact with, of course, the acting object ball here, which is my cue ball. Now the first thing that we have to do here is, of course, predict the track line which the 8 ball is on. So what I have to do here is just to pick a nearby track line. So this is 40, this is 50, this is 60. So I place my cue over the 60 and find half of 60, which is going to be 30. Evidently, my 8 ball is not under the cue or is not in line with the cue. So I can either do one of two things. I can do a parallel shifting to give me a reference, or I can actually estimate a number that is close to 60. So this looks to be like about on the 62 to 31 track line. So I'm just going to use that track line here. Now this is not a part of the exceptions to the rules for kicking as it relates to the ball going long or short. So we're just going to get right into it here and just going to stroke this 8 ball to make contact with the cue ball here. Alright, so we're on the 62-31 track line. We came a little bit short there and I'm so happy that that happened, because of course there are times based on the table that you're playing, may it be a 9-foot or an 8-foot, sometimes you may need to use a little bit of spin or maybe you need to use diamond adjustments. So for my table, usually when I'm kicking, I like to do a little bit of diamond adjustments. So if I get my track line to, for example, be 62 to 31, I like to adjust to give myself that extra level of surety. I just aim at, say, 30, one increment away from the original track line. So let's just try to do that again. And that happens occasionally when you're practicing. So let's do this one more time. 62, 31. I adjust my aim to make sure. And to make contact with the object ball that is lying in the corner. So let's do like a few more here, guys. We're going to set this 8 ball here in the pocket and we're going to go down to the end rail here to try to make a diamond adjustment here. Alright, so now I'm just going to go on a very standard one here, this number 3 ball here, and it looks to me that I'm on the 100 to 50 track line. Seems as if my 3 ball is there or thereabout. Now, when I'm kicking off the end rail, I definitely do not make any adjustments because of the angle that I'm coming in on the first rail. The cue ball needs a little bit of time to get to the objective ball line in the pocket, and it needs to correct its angle coming off the first rail. So I do not necessarily do aim at my number. So this looks to be on the 100 to 50 track line. I sometimes like to use a little bit of helping spin, maybe like 1/8 of spin, just to give me that extra level of surety. And make contact with that 8 ball. All right, so that's good. So we can go again now and we can do another one from here, something a little bit further from the 100, right? Because then the closer you are to this rail when you're making the first rail contact, is a little bit more difficult it becomes. It becomes a little bit more speed sensitive, and you may or may not have to apply a little bit of English, maybe like a quarter tip. Here I applied only about a 1/8. Maybe here I might need a quarter tip. So let's see what happens. Now, finding the track line here, my nearby track line seems to be 120 to 60 track line. It's not there. So let's say here, in between 120 and 140 is 130. So 130 to 65, not quite there. So that's not the 130 to 65 track line. So maybe I can say this is perhaps 115 to 57.5 track line. So this is, okay, let's see here. So okay, so this is 120, 140, 130, let's say 125. That's correct. So 125, 62.5 track line. So here is 60, here is 62 about here. All right. And the cue ball is going into rail quite early, so it becomes quite speed sensitive. So I just need a little bit of helping spin. Or maybe you could just use a little bit of diamond adjustments, but I think you're going to need a little bit of spin here. All right, just to make contact. All right, good. So I did make legal contact with the 3. I came a little bit off the end rail here, but that's fine as long as you make decent contact with the object ball in which you're aiming at. All right, so you guys can definitely try this out. When it comes to doing a lot of kick shots, just ensure that you know the diamond numberings for the end rail, the diamond numberings for the long rail and the end rail, and how to make the necessary adjustments. So just to do a quick recap, on the end rail, diamond numbers increased by 10. On the short rail, diamond numbers increased by 20. With the exception that sometimes kicking from the 90-45 track line, the ball goes a little bit long. And from the 70 to 35 track line, the ball goes a little bit long, so you can make the necessary adjustments. You can use diamond numberings or you can use parallel shifting. But for the most part, guys, improve your kicking by using this fantastic numerical system. Great more contents are out there on my channel. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and of course, improve your 8, 9, and 10 ball game. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.